Hello, I'm grateful that you could join me. I want to talk about dreams. This is something that many people have asked me in the past to talk about in the comments. And finally, I got to sit down and put down some notes about dreams. I hope that you can still be able to see me. The sun keeps popping once in a while. To start us off about interpreting dreams, there are three fundamental, basic levels from which dreams happen. And that is the physical, from physical experiences, from the subconscious, right, from the subconscious mind, and from interdimensional experiences. That is where you experience those dreams that look from other worlds. Depending on the nature of the dream that you have experienced, it's very crucial to understand the layer from which it comes from, right, from these three layers that I've said. So as you go through the events of the day, our mind takes more like screenshots, all right? As you walk, there are some markers that leave an imprint in the brain subconsciously, that is without you knowing, and you end up dreaming about them, all right? You could dream about them today or tomorrow or a week later. Now, these are the simplest of dreams in that you can simply tell that, hey, that dream is simply coming from that event. And then there's the next level of dreaming, and that is the subconscious. This comes from the stories and stored energies from past experiences which generated some sort of energy and have not been processed. I'm talking about things like trauma, past events, and fears. All these things, they get stored in the subconscious mind. For example, they can manifest in the form of you are being chased by someone. But let me save that for the next, because I'm going to give some interpretation of some dreams, including when you're being chased. And also subconscious dreaming can also be an indication of personal growth. So whenever you undergo a form of growth, you might sometimes not notice it, but it can manifest in the subconscious mind as a dream. And that is how sometimes you can have a dream that you are dead, okay? It's sometimes scary to see yourself that, hey, why am I dead, all right? But it indicates a form of transition or change. At the interdimensional level, that is where you experience dreams that are otherworldly, all right? Or sometimes it could be weird experience with beings of other realms, all right? Sometimes some spirits can get attached to you and then they manifest in the form of a dream. One very common mistake that people make about interpreting dreams is that they want to interpret it about something that is coming. But the best way to interpret dreams is what is happening, all right? Don't focus on what does it signify, something coming in the future, because in most cases it's about something that is happening currently. If you are not objective and you're simply trying to look about what a dream signifies about the future, then with these two levels of dreaming, that is the subconscious and the physical dreams, you're likely to make a mistake. It's mostly the interdimensional dreams where you're likely to foresee a future event. Another very important aspect that you should note and will help you to interpret the dream is the emotions. What sort of emotions were accompanying the dreams or at the time of activity in the dream. And also look for patterns in dreams, because some dreams can be very repetitive, especially spiritual ones, all right? The ones that have some sort of spiritual significance to you. They can be very repetitive, and that way you just know that, hey, there's something that I'm supposed to learn from this. And finally, but not least, you should also note that a dream can have multiple perspectives, right? One dream can have multiple perspectives that are not even correlated. In the same dream, for example, it can contain three different aspects of your life that need you to reflect on. After laying all those foundations, now I think I'm ready to start interpreting some of the very common dreams. The first type of dream that is very common is that you dream that you are crying in your dreams, all right, and you're very emotional. So where would you put this dream to be coming from? Of course, it's not coming from a daily experience, all right? It's not coming from the interdimensional, but definitely it's coming from the subconscious. If you find yourself crying in the dream, it directly means that a part of you is or was hurt in the past, and these emotions were not processed, and now they're coming to the surface in the form of a dream. It could be an event that happened very many years ago, all right, maybe in your childhood. Very important to note is that the reason why you are crying in the dream is not related to the direct reason why you're crying. The emotion has simply taken a different story and brought it to the surface, and that is why you're crying in the dream. Either way, it is very important for you to cry in this dream, because there is no room for this emotion to live any longer inside of you, and maybe you have suppressed the crying yourself, and it's only through the dream that this emotion has found an outlet, and so that is why you're crying in the dream. Pay attention to the emotion. How do you feel while crying? Because it can mirror a real event that you know of, all right, that really hurt you, and it's coming to the surface in the form of you crying. And this one is also very closely related to if you see yourself vomiting in the dream. If you vomit in the dream, it simply means that you are expunging, or your spirit is purging out some negative energy that can't find a home, and so it's manifesting subconsciously in the dream, right, as you vomiting. It's a very healthy thing to vomit in the dream, because it simply means that you're letting out something that has been holding you back or influencing your behavior or causing you to be repetitive in your failures, because, for example, of a new discipline that you've put in your life, it no longer finds a home, and therefore you're just expunging it out of your spirit. A second type of dreaming that is very common is that you dream that someone or something is chasing you. Sometimes it could be a person that you know, or you know very well to be your friend, and he's chasing you violently with something. You have to understand that most likely it has nothing to do with the person who is chasing you, all right? Don't wake up and then say that, that person has something against me. So being chased can come from the subconscious or the metaconscious, all right, the otherworldly dream where some sort of beings, are after you. But mostly it comes from the subconscious, and it means that you are suspicious or over suspicious about others doing you harm. It can also mean you have expectations, right? You are overwhelmed with expectations about, for example, how things should be happening in your life. And being chased in the dream can also mean that you're holding on to fears. So those three things, right, suspicions, expectations, and fears, can be a common reasons why you dream that you're being chased. I once had a friend who dreamt that a family member was chasing them with a knife, and I told him that, hey man, relax, it has got nothing to do with the person whom you saw. Don't start holding a grudge or taking this as a symbol that this person has something against you. You just need to reflect on these areas of your life, and then you will get the answer. Spiritual entities can also chase you in the dream. People whose consciousness have crossed onto higher dimensions can experience these dreams, or people who have been, for example, dabbling with spirits. I'm going to talk about that in the interdimensional interpretation of dreams. And the third very common type of dream is that you dream that you are dead. Sometime back, I also dreamed that, hey, I was dead, and I was still having conversations with family members. Dreaming about being dead indicates a transition. It can indicate a change. It can indicate a new discovery, all right? A transition into a better person. It actually indicates that a part of you has died, or just like a snake, you are shedding off some skin and growing and expanding. And it could also indicate a new discovery of something that directly correlates with your life. The death part can also mean that you are finally letting go, all right? Sometimes, for example, a relationship that led you a bit disorganized, for example, 2-3 years ago, and all those years you've simply been fighting the demons in your mind. And even though while mentally you have proceeded on, the subconscious part of you had not yet healed, and all the efforts that you've been making during that time are finally paying off. So that part of you is already dying. So if you interpret about you being dead, mostly to me, it's a positive thing. Sometimes you also dream about someone that you know of, all right, dying. It has nothing to do with them. It actually has something to do with you. When you dream about another person dying, it's simply an indication that you have some sort of extra love for this person than every other normal people. Or it could also indicate that you have fears of losing this person, right, in your life. Even if it's not a family member, it could be a friend or a partner, right? And the fourth thing that I want to talk about in interpreting dreams is animals. If you dream about animals, all right, for example, an animal accompanying you to somewhere, right, in another world, and it's more like guiding you and showing you, it more often indicates your desire or craving to have a trustworthy bond with people, meaningful relationships, okay? You are craving or yearning for a deep relationship that touches your heart and your soul and makes you feel whole. So sometimes maybe through your life, you have simply encountered very superficial relationships with people, people whose relationship are just at the surface, right? But something inside of you is really yearning for someone who understands you very deeply. You want a form of deep inner bonding, and that comes in a dream, more in a way of your friendship with an animal. And the fifth type of dream that is very common is dreaming that you're falling. You are falling off a cliff, or you're falling off into a pit. You seem not to be reaching the bottom, right? You're just in some form of agony that, hey, I'm going to hit the ground really hard. Dreaming that you're falling means that you are holding on to some things too tightly. You're not letting go of some things in your life that you're supposed to be letting go. It could be you're holding on to beliefs. You're holding on to a relationship that has indicated all the signs that, hey, it's time to go. These things are not working here, but you have that fear of letting go. And a part of you wants to make this transformation or transition, but the beliefs and the thoughts and the way of life that you're holding on to is not serving this new life that is unfolding. Mostly at the time when I was a bit younger, then I used to dream about falling a lot. And during those times, it's when you are experiencing rapid transformations in life, and letting go of things at that rapid rate is not easy. The opposite of dreaming that you're falling is dreaming that you're flying, which is often very exciting. Sometimes I look at the birds and I'm envious that, hey, I wish I could fly, like the birds. They're just having a good time in the air, okay? So dreaming that you're flying means a newfound freedom. You have achieved that growth, maybe due to the disciplines that you've been putting in to get rid of some old habits that don't serve you. Now, there are very many types of dreams. Some dream about, being pregnant. Some dream about, food and so on and so forth. There's a very important personality that I watch her videos, all right? She's Marie Louis Von Fans. I may not have pronounced the name correctly. She's French, but she does a really good job at analyzing dreams, even interdimensional dreams. She has a very objective way of interpreting dreams. So if you're interested in this, please check the comments and go to this channel, Distracted, where you'll find most of her videos. And before I conclude, let me talk about interdimensional dreams, which can come from a divine inspiration. It can come from spirits and spiritual influences, and it can also come from ancestral sources. You can, for example, get message about a future event that is coming, all right? You dream about things and then they happen. This type of dreaming does not happen to many people, all right? Though many people mistake themselves to be getting, premonitions through their dreams, but it's a very tiny percentage of people who actually experience this interdimensional dreaming. And if you're one of them, then kudos to you. It means you have a consciousness that has transcended the limitations of the physical body. You will always know an interdimensional dream by the surrealness of the experiences in that world, in that world seems to be very close to the physical world, all right? It's more as tangible as the physical world, and it's not as shallow as the usual dream world that we often are in. You will often just have that strong conviction that, hey, that was not a normal place where I went to, and those were not just regular normal experiences that I've had. Especially in spiritual ascension, you will experience interdimensional dreams when your consciousness is expanding. Whether you signed up for these dreams or not, right? They will happen to you. They will often start as scary experiences, and these dreams are manifesting as a way to shape your mind and brain, and also to give you some lessons. And also they're here to test you whether you're ready. If you watch my video about the gatekeepers, okay, I talked about spirits that are always there to turn you back on your journey, to discourage you, to stop you from crossing from one level of consciousness to another. And so you'll experience these dreams. They'll keep recurring on and on. Sometimes in a night you can have 3 consecutive dreams, all right? You dream, you wake up, you dream, you wake up. And these dreams are here to teach you a lesson. As long as you are not learning the lesson, for example, fear, they will keep haunting you and violating you and scaring you until that time when you learn the courage, because that courage is supposed to transform how your mind and brain also works in the physical world, in that fear has to go. And these lessons will keep recurring one after another until you have mastered this level of the spiritual world. Because this topic is long, I may have left some things that I haven't talked about that I should have talked about. If you have any input or contribution about dreams, be sure to drop me a comment, and like this video, share and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. I will see you on my next video. Cheers and have a great time.